Welcome everyone, it's Lewpac here, and today we're bringing you another beginner guide in which we're going to be talking about alternate characters, or alts for short. A lot of people are always asking about alts in Albion Online when they visit the stream or comment in the YouTube videos saying, do I need them? Do I have to have alts to play this game? Why should you have alts? What are the benefits? What's the downsides? Because they see me and obviously my various characters, and they want to know what the score is. So I want to start with a little bit of background for this. I mean, I've played a lot of MMOs throughout the years. I've been a gamer all my life. I'm 34 now, and I've always loved MMOs, but I've always been that one character guy. So I've always liked to have my main character. That's my only character. I do everything on that character. And, that's the way I like it. It keeps it nice and tidy, easy to organize. And that's always been my style of play. I've never really bothered with alt characters and stuff like that. But in Albion, it's a different kettle of fish, to be honest. There's so many mechanics and factors that encourage you to play with alts or benefit you if you play with alts, that it is in fact quite beneficial to an active player. And I'll go more onto what I mean by that later on. But first I'll just talk you through my three characters. So I have my main character Lewpac, who is a fire mage. He does a little bit of everything. He has everything unlocked to tier 4, but his main spec is Fire Mage. There's about 30 million fame invested into Fire Mage related skills. Here you can see him with his 8-3 masterpiece Wildfire and his Crypt Candle. My second character is Lewpac with 2 Cs, and this guy specializes in tanking for the most part. He's currently he's really high level in all of the armors for plate. And he's 100 spec Great Hammer with 100 Hammer Mastery. He's also started doing maces because I've been playing the Cancer Tank build that I featured in my build spotlight. Finally, I've got Lewpac with 3 Cs, who's my leather user. He GVGs with swords. He generally uses a Galatine pair as his sword of choice, but he's also proficient with double-bladed staff and bow for open world and ganking. So he's a bit more of an all-rounder character. And actually, possibly the one I've been spending the most time on in the last week. So, as you can see, I've actually opted to do 3 different things with my 3 characters. So, let's go into first the benefits of having alternate characters. Well, the obvious one is you get 3 times the stuff. So, if you have 3 characters, instead of gaining 20 LP per day on your character, you're actually gaining 60 LP per day across 3 characters because they're going to get 20 each. Likewise with your crafting focus. You're going to be getting 10,000 focus per character per day for a total of 30,000 a day. And instead of having 1 personal island, you have the option to have up to 3. So the focus and the islands kind of pair together to mean that yes, you've got 3 characters, but they're also making 3 times the money because you've got more focus and stuff like that. LP is a particularly interesting one, or learning points, because what I tend to find is I'll focus on one character's leveling for a little while. I'll get in the mood to be like, right, I want to push my maces up on my second character. And a couple of weeks I'll be playing him and I'll be leveling him. I'll be playing him in GVGs, hardcore expeditions, whatever. And then 2 to 3 weeks later, I go to one of my other characters, and suddenly the character that I haven't played as much has got 700-800 learning points just sat there. And then when I want to level him, he's already built up those learning points and he can be power leveled. So by switching between the characters, not only can you have multiple builds so you can try more things, you've also got the opportunity to power level with those learning points. Another really important factor with Albion and alternate characters is the ability to relocate very, very quickly, or have your characters in different places, in fact. So for example, I have my main character and I'm off and I'm ganking with the boys in Mercia. We're out roaming, we're having a good time, and all of a sudden the guild chat lights up and says, guys, we're being attacked. We've got big problems in our territories. We need defenders ASAP. Well, me and the lads, we're locked to Mercia. So we can't travel to Anglia to defend our territories for 2 hours. But if I've got a character logged over in Anglia or just sat at the portal, in as little as 60 seconds to log out, I can then quickly jump off of one character, switch over to another, and I'm instantly in another location. It allows me to be in 3 different locations at the same time and quickly react in real time to stuff that's going on. So you can see I can suddenly jump over here and I'm in a completely different place and I'm ready to go. Now this is super important because when people are raiding your mages or diving your dungeons, or if a world boss spawns, you need to be able to react quickly. And portal locks are clunky and they prevent you from traveling fast between the continents. You would have to run on foot, which would, by the time you've run on foot across the 3 continents, you've probably missed whatever you were called for anyway. So that's a massive benefit to having the 3 characters, as you can avoid lockouts, you can have them stationed in different places doing different things, and you can swap between them at will. Again, the way you build the 3 characters as well, because obviously one character can in theory do everything, so you don't need alts to try different builds. But as we said, all 3 characters will gain learning points, so if you spec your characters differently, it will be a lot quicker to level your alt, for example, who saved up his learning points, than it will be to try and get a second spec on your main in something completely different. That's why my 3 characters are in cloth, leather and plate, so I can get a taste of all of the play styles. We can see this guy, if Charhide was being attacked, I can quickly log on to this guy at Charhide. And back when we were fighting for the castles every day, I actually made a habit of keeping a character logged at Charhide with all his equipment and a battle mount at all times. So anytime Charhide was under attack, even if I wasn't actually playing Albion, somebody could just ping my phone and I knew I could log on and just be there straight away. That said, although different builds is nice, what I've noticed a lot of top players actually do is they'll make 3 characters, and those 3 characters will be an exact clone of each other, which isn't very interesting, but when they've mastered that class and they're considered one of the best on it, it makes sense to have 3 of the same character, because of my next point that we're going to talk to, and that is GVG lockouts. So GVGs, or guild versus guild battles, are the 5v5 matches you can see taking place for control of the territories. If you want an example of these matches, you can go to the GVG playlist on my YouTube channel and see some of my battles. Now, when you take part in a battle, providing the enemy shows up and there's some sort of fight, you actually get locked to the location you fought at for 24 hours. So for example, if I was fighting at Charhide Steppe, I'm locked to Charhide Steppe and I can only fight battles in Charhide or in the adjacent 2 towers. And that means my character's effectively out of action for 24 hours. But by having 3 characters, the other 2 characters aren't affected by the lock on the first. So you can effectively fight in 3 different places. And what this does is let guilds with a super powerful team, that team actually makes 3 teams because they've all got 3 characters. So suddenly one team can fight in 3 places and just control so much more territory. I mean, I'm knowing guys in this game that are actually on 6 or 7 GVG ready characters, which is a serious grind because they love GVGing and they want to do as much of it as possible. And being locked to 1 GVG every 24 hours just doesn't satisfy their needs, shall we say. So there's a lot of different pros to having ults and a lot of things you can do with it. And it's honestly, it's kind of nice when you get in a bit, you just get fed up with playing the same character, casting the same spells. It's great to just be able to switch to another, pick a build. He's got loads of learning points just sat there, and you can just power level so quick. Obviously though, we can't have the pros without the cons as well. So there are some downsides to the ult system. Obviously, if you have 3 characters, yes, you get 3 times the LP, 3 times the focus, and you can get 3 islands. But unfortunately, you're also going to need 3 times the premium. So you are going to need 3 premium subscriptions. That said, I would I would advise that if you follow the silver making tips in our silver guide and you're proficient with using your focus and your islands efficiently, then maintaining 3 premium characters with 3 islands is the same as maintaining 1 premium character with 1 island. And in fact, if you have 1 character maintaining all 3 islands, they will actually gain specialization quicker and actually be more efficient quicker than they would than if you had the 1 character. But you do have to bear in mind that, you know, this week I'm actually trying to put together 25 million silver so I can get 6 months on all of my characters. Another con to having the alts is the messy permissions. So you're going to want to share an island between all of your characters, and they're going to want to share chests to transfer stuff between each other, and you have to manually set up the positions for every single character on all of your chests, and it is tedious and time consuming. Not to mention, when you go out to the various towers around the world where you can store things, your characters don't share the storage. So having 3 characters with items all over the world can get super messy. In fact, there was an instance recently where I'd lost a battle mount, which was worth about 160 million silver, and my live stream audience found it very hilarious that it took me around 8 hours searching all of the towers and looking through old videos to try and remember where I'd put this battle mount. Luckily, I did actually find it, and it was located safe and sound. So there are a couple of downsides to it. The organization can be a bit of a pain for 3 characters, and that's from somebody who has 3 characters. Now, the final thing we're going to answer is a lot of people say, should I get alts in this game? And to be honest with you, that is a question that only you can answer. Now, when you play an MMO, you need to think to yourself, are you the sort of person that when you start a new game, you go all in? Now, that is what I am like. When I start a new game and I start getting into a game, the second I finish my first play session and I'm not playing anymore, you can bet I'm on Twitch looking at like the top streamers, seeing what they do. I'm on YouTube, I'm looking at videos and guides. I'm on Wiki, I'm on the forums. The second I get into a game, I go hard on a game. I want to absorb all of that knowledge. I want to know as much about the game as possible and get as proficient as possible. If that sounds like you, then 100% you should get 3 characters as soon as you can. Get premium on them as soon as you can. And just, even if you don't play the other 2, just have them sitting there building up learning points. Trust me, you will not regret it later on. Make sure you use their crafting focus though, because that is effectively free money. If you're a bit more casual, you know, and if you're likely to be playing Albion 10 hours or under per week, then you probably don't need alts in all honesty. You could have maybe 1 alt. You could maybe just have them sitting there gaining LP. Once you've made enough silver, just having them premiumed up is pretty trivial. 1.8 million silver a month is not a lot, to be honest with you. So you could do it if you wanted to, but you really won't reap the benefits. If you're in an open world like Outlands Guild, if you're thinking about GVGing, if you like to mess around with different builds, stuff like that, if you want to take up a lot of different gathering professions, if you're going to go hard on the game, definitely get alts. If you're a more casual player, don't worry about it too much. Maybe create 1 if you've got plenty of silver to spare. Just see how it goes. And that's all there is to it, really. Only you can decide if alt characters are right for you. But hopefully the information I've given you here today will help you guys make a decision. Alright, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you did like and subscribe to the channel, that would be absolutely amazing. And you can always leave a comment below with your thoughts on the video or any things you want to put forward for future video ideas. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.